Welcome back to Chicago Car Club. Today we're going to be taking you around what we feel is a very special little project car here. This is a 1969 Plymouth Road Runner. It is a factory 4-speed, Posi traction, 383, 4-barrel with an air grabber hood. It has some excellent options on it. This is a true one-owner car. We have the original title to it. We have the original window sticker, the original broadcast sheet, the original bill of sale on the car, and we're going to take you around, show you everything on it, get you comfortable with it so you can make a purchasing decision. Really a neat car. The gentleman we bought it from held on to it since new. He bought it off the truck after coming back from the war, and we're very excited to have it. It is the perfect project car, even as a small project in a garage. It's a fantastic car. We believe it to be a 66,000 mile original based on what we've been told. It is numbers matching, engine and trans. And we have the broadcast sheet, so we have all of the options on this thing. We're going to take you around, show you up close with it. It was repainted once. We've been told there is some paint peel on the driver's side, but again, this is a great project car. It's got a little bit of rust on some lower edge of the panels, but overall this thing is super solid. All original panels and metals on it. The bumpers are nice and straight. You'll see here the grille all throughout this car is highly original and a super excellent setup for this. Some of the options on this car that make it kind of interesting. It's gunmetal. It's an A4 color with a black top. This is an RM21, so it's a post car, which we feel is more desirable. Much more rigid body on it and frame. Some of the options we like on this car are obviously the 4-speed manual transmission. It's got the Sure Grip differential. It came with the Road Runner decor group, obviously. Heavy duty drum brakes. Three-speed wipers. The N96, which is the fresh air hood, also known as the air grabber, is fully intact and original and functional. Has the heavy duty suspension with sway bar. And the performance hood treatment was the coloring on it. Again, this is the original 383 4-barrel setup. It has a newer carburetor on it and a newer intake. However, we have the original iron intake for it, as well as the original carburetor off the car. It is the original 4-speed transmission. In '69, they started stamping the VINs on them. We've decoded that. We've decoded the engine to match it to the car. Just take you around and show you everything we see. Now, the windshield has a scratch from the wipers. We do have a brand new windshield that'll come with the car that the prior owner had. Inside the doors are pretty solid. Interior panels, kick panel. Show you the underside here. Now, this is actually an interesting car because, to me, this is a car that you could keep the way it is, put a seat cover on it, and have a older car that needs some work done to it, but a fantastic, really cool, age-correct, really just an awesome car. I've enjoyed driving it around. It turns a ton of heads for what it is, and it's all here, so... Bench seat 4-speed, which is pretty cool. Notice the carpet there is pretty stained. The driver's side floor pan is in need of replacement. There's a hole on the left side we'll show you. The door checks are nice on the car, feel good. Doors hold open. We believe the mileage at 66,000 to be correct, although we can't really confirm it, only other than what the original owner told us. Again, the lower edge of this door. All original panels on the car. you'll see in the trunk is good and solid. Quarters are solid. There's just a little bit of bubbling under the vinyl on the passenger side, which you may have seen. But again, if you're going to do anything to this car and repainting it and a little bit of body work, this would be an absolute showstopper. Got the little beep beep horn, which works. Headlights and taillights are functional. The dash is completely functional. The wipers function. Here you've got your air grabber, air switch. Non-power brake, non-power steering. This thing was made to rip. We love that about these 69s. Anytime we get a muscle car that didn't have all the luxury driving items, we kind of know the person bought it to go pound pavement with it, which is awesome. And here you can see under the mat, a little bit of surface stuff, but really solid. Move that out of the way. That's your original intake and carburetor. Again, solid down in the quarters there. Original deck lid. We'll get in and fire it up for you, let you hear it. Runs really well, makes great power. It does have a little bit of smoke when it's warmed up at idle. Not sure if it's rings or a valve adjustment. The way it runs, it really runs super strong. So he thinks maybe when he put the carburetor on it, it could be a CARB adjustment where it's running a little bit rich. We notice under acceleration, it smokes out the back almost like it's unburnt fuel. So it might be getting a little bit too much fuel to the motor. Really seldom do we find one of these air grabbers with the complete kit on it like this, all intact. Car keeps nice and cool. It idles beautifully, as you can hear. No valve train noises or anything like that of concern while it's sitting here idling. It doesn't have any shakes. The motor mounts feel good. Come out the back here. You see a little bit of smoke, a little bit more so when we get back from our ride. See the headlights are working, tail lights are working. Robert, the prior owner, drove this car every so often each year. A lot of history behind it. For him, we have the original bill of sale from Friedman Motors in Des Moines. And again, he came back from active duty in Vietnam, which is with the intent to buy a muscle car, and this is what he came up with. He actually was looking for a 69 Camaro, but couldn't find one at the dealership he liked, so he went over to the Plymouth store, and this thing came in on the truck, and he bought it. But nice that he kept every piece of documentation with the car, even the window sticker, which we have. So we know all the options are correct on it. Really, we believe it adds just a ton of value and historical preservation to the car. Take it down the street, always a little fun driving a 4-speed with camera in hand, but show you it gets up to speed nice and straight. It stops well. It's got a new master cylinder in the last couple years and some new wheel cylinders as well. See that little brake light on in the dash. Nothing of concern, but it's pointed out to you. We'll turn the corner here and give it a little run up through first and second, let you hear it wind out a little bit. It really pulls well. I got to be honest, it's set up quite well with the carburetor despite the smoke out the back, but it runs great, as you can tell. It shifts really well, pulls great under power. We'll downshift it into first here at a roll, and no grinding or anything going into first gear, which is nice. Once we get back to the shop, we'll get the car up in the air and show you the underside. Now we'll let you listen to the breeze. It has a 323 rear end in it, which is great for cruising. Again, Posi traction, which is awesome. We do have the manual for the car. Up in the air here, we'll show you the underside of the panels just so you can get a feel for what would be involved in any of the work on it. The rockers actually are super solid, as you can see down on the pinch welds there. Just your normal rust spots at the bottom of the panels. I don't see any panels that need replacing on the car. And the underside, frame rails are nice and straight. Doesn't show any signs of any accidents. The bumpers are nice and straight on the car. All the weld points are nice and solid. And you'll see a little bit on the rocker there, but on the floor pan on the driver's side, again, will benefit from being replaced. It does have a new exhaust system on it in the last couple of years, which you can see. And again, original transmission, we've decoded that. It matches, it's actually a VIN stamp. You see the passenger side floor pan is nice and solid. Not sure how to decode the rear ends on these cars. I don't think they were stamped. We obviously believe it to be original to the car, though. And as you can see, the frame is nice and solid. And here on the transmission, we've got that stamping on it. Here's some of the paperwork, which you can see in our pictures in better detail. You got your original title, original bill of sale, original window sticker from where it was purchased, and the broadcast sheet that denotes all of the options on the car, top to bottom, which makes this really cool because you can take this and restore it exactly to spec, all the way down to the battery. So we encourage you to give us a call anytime, 312-420-3696. You can also text us and visit us on the web at chicagocarclub.com. Thanks for watching. We look forward to hearing from you.